And hello everybody, welcome to Build Talk. And with me, Simon Williams, also known as EPiraten, and it's another week. This is episode 7. And last week we were talking about the progress we were making on Notre Dame, and we were possibly about 1 or 2 sections into the build, and I said we'll probably get to the middle of the cathedral, and this is what we've done. I'm working now on the transept. We've got a transept that's about 56 blocks wide, and as you can see, each side on these ones we've got 7 sections done on each side, and with the flying buttresses. You can see the cross section going on here. This is Notre Dame French Gothic architecture, and the build is it's going to take probably a month or so. There's some inside details I need to work on, especially in this area around the towers. Inside, you can see up here these are the bell towers, and how I've worked these. I suppose they're sort of bell baffles, really. They're designed to allow the sound of the bells out, but keep the elements away. But also they're probably made of wood, and so they are a lighter construction. And you can see the blueprint, a Minecraft blueprint color scheme, so you can see the structures that I'm using for the vaulting in the roof. And what we've got here is I have been trying to do the architecture in a way similar to how it was built, but I've had to, I suppose cheat is the word, on this section here, this transept section, finding it very difficult to get some references, photographs, especially in this section here, and working on trying to find some good photographs on the inside as well as on the outside of this area, in this corner. So I've had to get the sort of dimensions right first, and so that's why you see this sort of anti-Newtonian physics bit here, which I've been trying to just make sure I get the right sort of shape. And once I've got it, and then we can go back to building it in a more realistic style. The next week we'll be looking for reference photographs for this sort of corner here and how it relates around, and other sort of what the sort of look of the wall is, where the arches come around this side. So I'll be looking for photographs of that area, and then we can build out. I'm thinking presumably this next section here, these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sections are going to be pretty similar to what we've had before. And then the final part will be to work on what I'm sure will be very complicated, is this rounded eastern end of the cathedral. So yeah, working on that. Any suggestions, and leave a note below. The details you can see in below is the stats for it. We've got 156 total length, and as I say, the transept is 56 blocks across. We haven't been working on the spire yet, but and I need to have a look, see if I can get some information concerning the spire, which is obviously going to be here. I've left a little gap for it. I know that there's some. The structure sort of moves up from this point here, and it will be 96 in height, which will be around about. Keep double pressing. There's this So yeah, we'll be around about here. It will be the height of the spire. You can see Salisbury Cathedral there in the distance. That's got a 123 meter high spire. So yeah, this is the height of the spire that we're going to try and build. Other information. The nave is 13 cross. Should be. Let me just count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah. So it's 13 blocks between the pillars. Usually when I give these information down below, is the distance between the pillars. So the aisle is 5. So we're talking, this is in the aisle section here is 5. And the heights is to the keystone here. So this would be the aisle height here would be 13. And then you should see that the nave height is I can't quite read that. It's 35 anyway. Somewhere up here is 35. Probably a little bit higher. I might have to change that. It should be 30, maybe 37, 38. French Gothic, of course. Notre Dame, as you can see from the blueprint, was begun in 1163, and it the flying buttresses you see here was a innovation of this construction, which enables this massive hall basically to be created. And the strength of the flying buttresses and the archways and stuff means that the walls are less important, and therefore they can be filled with glass. And the glass then, with the flying buttresses, open. You can. There's nothing closing it in. It means the light can pour into the nave below. And so it's basically just one big construction to try to make the largest enclosed space. So hopefully I should be able to get this transept figured out probably this week. Once one side's complete, we could probably look at the other. I have been trying to mirror each side, but there are differences on each side, and there are little individual elements that are iconic to each side of the cathedral, which is something that we can go back and look at once the proper construction is put into place. The gargoyles were using armor stands with armor on it. These are actually 19th century additions added on. The construction of the cathedral, the main part was made in 1260, but it was actually created over maybe 2 centuries, but I didn't want to do the main cathedral that you can see was constructed in that time, and there was obviously additions and modifications done over the centuries. But the basic, what you would deem to be Notre Dame, was finished by 1260. These towers are actually, though you wouldn't know it, I couldn't quite do it, but they're actually the different sizes. There is a slight lack of mirror image to them, and they were supposed to have some spires on the top of them, but they were never added. So I'm not sure how high those would have been, but considering that the towers themselves are high, are probably on par with Salisbury Cathedral. Let's just have a look here. This is we're at 71. I think the tower height. The tops of it was 75, so they're actually higher than Salisbury Cathedral. So if they were going to have spires put on them, presumably they will be rivaling the spire of Salisbury Cathedral, but they were never added. If you're new to this Minecraft Blueprints project, it's basically my music channel is EPiraten, and I wanted a way to market basically my music, but and I'm interested in architecture and history, and so you'll find on this channel there's these builds. This build's going to be happening. It's main Minecraft blueprint build, and then I'll be putting some of my music to the time-lapse videos of the construction. You'll also find videos where it's just there's no commentary and it's just the game. So if you need to look at a specific part of the build, then you can just find that video, and these will be coming out over the course of the year. The project, I don't know, is kind of, I promised myself I'd do this for about a year, and we'll see where we get to. So if you're new to the project, it's going to be done in this white blue kind of aesthetic. The blue-white allows you a clearer sort of view of the build itself. If you have any suggestions, or you can see anything that is needs adjusting, then you can always pop some suggestions into the comments. The builds are all 1-to-1. And you can see the floor plan here of Notre Dame on the right of the screen, and we'll probably maybe add these sort of side buildings as well, which will be down in this area here. So the scale of the buildings are 1:1, so it means you can have a direct comparison of buildings. And what's unique about this build is that you can see below there is a timeline. And I'm facing north right now, and basically one block is 1 year. So not only do you have a 1-to-1 spatial comparison, but you also have a time comparison. So the block of the blueprint is for Notre Dame begins in 1163 and finishes at 1260. So you can immediately see that Salisbury Cathedral was built probably, or was building. The beginning of the building was halfway through the construction of Notre Dame, and it finishes probably around about 50 years after Notre Dame was completed. And so Salisbury Cathedral here, you can see 1220 to 1330. The idea is that we're going to be able to go around the world finding iconic buildings and structures and place them on this timeline, so that we will be able to zoom up the timeline and with different blueprints either side, so we can see the history of architecture as it moves forwards in time. Starting here because obviously, cathedrals, they're pretty cool in Minecraft. But I'm sure if we keep carrying on, we can go back along this time. We can do Roman buildings and Colosseums and pyramids, whatever. And then going forwards, we can go right up to the modern day equivalent of the cathedrals, or the Sagra Familia, or modern skyscrapers. This one, for example, here is one I mentioned last week. It's Lincoln Cathedral. I've started to plot out the dimensions of that cathedral. That's because it very much influenced the construction of Salisbury Cathedral. And Salisbury Cathedral has one of the highest spires in the country. At the time it was built, it was actually the third highest, with Lincoln and St. Paul's higher. Lincoln's collapsed, and St. Paul's was burnt down in the Great Fire of London. And we'll go forwards. We can add in different cathedrals in different places. I'll see if I can concentrate English buildings around in one area, and French in another, and German in another. And going forwards in time, we can place different buildings in different positions. So up here we've got St. Paul's, the preparation of the ground for the St. Paul's Cathedral, and I'm looking forward to maybe doing something like the Houses of Parliament, Sydney Opera House, things like that. So that's a brief look into the project so far. I'm hoping you guys are going to enjoy this. So please give a like and subscribe, and if you want to see more of this type of content, that will encourage me to keep going. I find this absolutely fascinating, being able to use Minecraft to get an insight into the construction of these fabulous buildings, and also to get to compare different sites. These blueprints are all, by the way, at the 0 level, which is and it's meant designed like that one, so that you can immediately see the position height on the top left of the screen. But it also means that you get the original blueprint underneath the building. So anybody who wants a close-up of some sections and gives us a shout, and I can show you or hover around it so you can get a screenshot of this, and feel free to copy. And the idea is I'm keeping it in this white marble, quartz I think it is. I'm using some different textures, pillars and chiseled and brick, for different aspects of the construction, depending on whether it's support or filler kind of stuff. And it's there for you to sort of, add your own textures and play around with it. But I'm not that fussed in what it looks like. I like it to be this white. I like it to be easily comparable to other buildings. And in the future, if I wanted to build this, and then it'll be easy to put one down below and on the ground, and make it a texture one on the ground, and use these blueprints up in the sky as a guideline. Okay, so that's that. And as I say, please like and subscribe to this. You'll find on this channel we've got music videos, we've got music jam sessions. From currently working on an atmospheric dub techno album for this year. And you can find that music on Bandcamp and Spotify. Just search for EPiraten. It's capital E, capital P, IRATEN. As you say, there'll be short videos. There'll be music videos. There's 1x construction videos. There's 5x construction videos. I'll do some radio jams showing time-lapse photography of these builds, so you can get to pick and choose what style you want these videos in. My sister channel is called Flight Past, and that is using Microsoft Flight Simulator to look at major historical events, and there's a whole series just being completed over there on D-Day. And in the next video we'll be doing some flights to support this channel. We'll be looking at locations of some of these iconic buildings, and talking a little bit more about the history of them, and getting a geographical context of where these cathedrals are, and how they why they're placed where they are. And then in the future, I think we'll be doing stuff on Napoleonic wars coming up. Okay, so that is it for this week. I will be back next week with an update. As I say, hopefully we'll have the transept finished by that time, and we'll be pushing the build back to the eastern side. So on that note, let's leave with a nice sort of aerial shot of the project so far, and I will see you then next week.